theory that people weren't recognizing this thing being a dog. As soon as the information was given out that this is actually a dog, people around the world who weren't even told that started to begin to naturally perceive this as a dog instead of just a jumbled mess. Now, as soon as this random thing happened to this glycerin, it started to crystallize. All of the glycerin in the world then started to crystallize in the same manner. There's a link. Communicating in some way that we can't sense. Junpei was honestly impressed. It was in fact a pretty interesting story. Wow, that's pretty interesting. But what does that have to do with Ice 9? To a surprise, it was Santa and not June who answered. What she's saying is that it's a lot like Ice 9. What happened, I mean. A lot like? That would be bad. If water everywhere started freezing at 96 degrees, it'd be the end of the world. Junpei felt that Santa might not be treating the idea of the end of the world with the proper concern. At any rate, we're not going to have to worry about the end of the world unless we can get out of here pretty damn quick. He was right. Junpei shivered. Alright guys, I think that's enough of that. I didn't think we'd get this far off topic. I mean, I know I'm kinda at fault here, but we can't be screwing around anymore, seriously. I might go by the name Santa right now, but I didn't grow up in Iceland. I freaking hate the cold. So let's get cracking, alright? We gotta find a way out of here. Santa stomped off, clearly doing his best to pretend the cold wasn't affecting him. Selfish, isn't he? Thought Junpei to himself. Still, Santa was right, and it was high time they got back to their search. The story of Ice 9 had him interested, but there'd be more time to think about that once they got out the freezer. Junpei looked at June, nodded, and resumed his search of the room. This thing's frozen solid. This pork? Yeah, seems like it. What's this thing? Not like a tag or something. Chunk of pork! Yeah, bud. Jumpy, is there a slip of paper in that meat? I think there's something written on here, but I can't read it like this. If we try and put it out, it'll probably rip. You need to defrost that. I don't think we're gonna be doing that in this room. Oh shit. Everything's frozen in here. Doesn't look like there's anything else interesting. Really? Like at all? There's a lot of shit here. Frozen chicken. It's really hard. It's frozen stiff. Oh. Hey June, can you say that again? Eh? Say it again. It's really hard. Again. It's really hard. Oh, thanks. Something wrong, Junpei? Your face is bright red. No, it's nothing. Fine. If it's that hard, you could probably use it as a hammer. Yeah, good point. Maybe you can use it to break something, yeah? Oh. Whew. Alright. Where was I? Busted dry ice! Alright, the dry ice is all in pieces now. Yeah. Wow, you crushed up really good. You should be able to get into anything you want now. Quite sure that stuff causes an explosion if you seal it in something that's airtight. Yes? Ooh, whoa. Sturdy rope. It's a rope. Well, we could use it to attach something to something else, I suppose. stuff in here. Why don't we take some of it out, Jumpy? Well, take this. A water bottle. Hey, yeah, Shane. A water bottle. Yeah, it is. I'm gonna put these pieces of dry ice into the water bottle. What? Alright, never mind. Sweet. So you put the dry ice in the water bottle, Jumpy. If it explodes, it could probably blast away the ice on the door. So, how are we gonna get it to stay against the doorknob? You hold it, Santa. That's how we're gonna get it. There isn't anything else here that looks useful. Fine, motherfucker, fine. Fine, I said fine. And let's just tie a rope on here. Alright. Hey, why don't we use that rope to tie that ball onto the doorknob? We just have to put some water in it and then we can give it a good whack or something. Kaboom! Explode. Break the ice off the door. What are we waiting for? I can't take this cold any longer. Warm water dripped from the ruptured pipe near the door. Junpei pulled out the water bottle filled with dry ice, let a good amount of water fall in and then quickly sealed it up tight. The makeshift bomb complete, he tied it to the doorknob as quickly as he could manage it in the cold. Yeah, trying to tie stuff in the cold is a bitch. Alright, that's set. So, what do we do now? We just need to give it a little tap. The bottle's already about to pop. We just throw a rock or something at it, and it'll go off all on its own. Small rock? Small rock. Junpei looked down at the floor. Scattered across were pieces of dry ice left over from the larger chunk he'd crushed earlier. Alright, this ought to do a trick. He pulled his sleeve down, over his hand to keep it from burning. He grabbed a chunk of dry ice. It was a pretty good size, about as big as a pool ball. He figured it would be just about the right size. Alright guys, stand back. I'm gonna blow this mother sucker! Actually, we should probably hide somewhere. Both Santa and June looked at him with new concern. Where exactly do you expect us to hide, genius? There isn't really anywhere big enough. In there? Yeah, there is. Look, right here. We can hide in there. Junpei pulled open the door to the small cellar. Come on, get inside quickly. Santa and June nodded and jumped down into the hole. Junpei quickly followed. In his hand, he could feel the chill of the frozen carbon dioxide even through his sleeve. He tightened his grip, took aim, and prepared to throw. Alright, here it goes. 3, 4, 5! You count the wrong way! Oh yeah. That is a really sad excuse for a joke, man. So, dude. Alright, for real this time. You guys ready? Yes. Whenever you're ready. Okay. Just throw the damn thing. Alright, here I go. 3, 2, 1. Junpei threw the chunk of dry ice as hard as he could. With the same motion, he ducked down into the cellar with Santa and June, just as a kabow! Seek a way out. That's how we do. Junpei leapt up out of the cellar and ran to the door. Jumpy! The ice on the door, is it gone? Yeah, it's gone. The blast must have shattered it. Yeah, alright, let's see if it opens. Junpei grabbed the knob and pushed it with all his might. Oh, thank God. The door gave way easily and all three of them tumbled out the freezer at once. Hooray! We're out! June, relieved, collapsed on the floor. Move! Santa shoved past Junpei and ran straight to the grill, where he immediately grabbed. Ah! Oh, god damn it, hot! Oh, fuck! He proceeded to kick the grill in a futile but amusing fit of rage. But where was Lotus? It took Junpei only a moment to find her. She was sitting on the counter idly scratching her chest. Ah, welcome back. I was starting to get tired of waiting for you guys. With a great yawn, Lotus lowered herself off of the counter. Junpei clenched his teeth and walked toward her. What were you doing? What do you mean, what was I doing? I was waiting. We were gonna die. Oh yeah? But you didn't, so everything worked out alright, didn't it? What the hell? Just kidding. You might not look like it, but I was really worried. Don't give me that crap. I'm telling the truth. I mean, if you died, then I'd be in trouble too. If you died, then I'd be stuck here, and I'd die too. See? I did all I could. I even looked around to see if there was anything I could use to pry open the door, but I couldn't find anything. So all I could do was wait. I mean, what else did you want me to do? Call the cops? It was true that there wasn't much you could have done, but something about her tone. Junpei gritted his teeth. Fine. There's one thing I have to ask you. What's that? You didn't close the door, did you? What? You think I closed the door on you? Why would I do something like that? It closed on its own. I told you before, if you died, then I died too. She was right, and Junpei knew it. Without them, she'd be in very serious trouble. It seemed that an accident was the only explanation for the door's closure. If Lotus had really wanted to kill them, all she would have had to do was bar the door from the outside. And she hadn't. Well, she hadn't done anything. The most she was guilty of was laziness or negligence, not attempted murder. Junpei swallowed his anger and did his best to apologize. Well, I'm sorry. I'm sorry I doubted you. Well, yeah, well, that's alright, as long as you understand. Lotus looked away and twirled her hair between her fingertips. His vengeance against the grill complete, Santa swaggered back toward Junpei and Lotus. Hey, no more screwing around, you two. Break time's over, especially for you, lady. You've just been sitting on your fat ass of yours while we're freezing to death. How rude! I was plenty busy. Yeah. How about you put all that energy into something besides bitching? Let's go. Right, so we now have the turkey, chicken. It's so hard. So let's go put that on the grizzle, my nizzle. I guess I put the meat on the grill. Hey, what are you doing? I'm hungry! What are you gonna do if the paper burns? Come on, it'll be fine. I mean, it's not like it's gonna burn right away, right? We just gotta keep an eye on it, and the paper will be fine. Well, they can argue what they want. I'm gonna keep an eye on this book. Cool. Looks like it's about time. I'm gonna try taking the paper out. Jumpy, be careful. Sweet of her to care, but I know what I'm... Oh, God! See? I told you. I told you, man. What the hell are you doing? Hurry up and take the paper out. It's not coming out. The thing's frozen stiff. I can't get it out. So we're gonna have to cut the meat? Yeah, looks that way. No, I got just the thing, motherfucker. Check it. Oh, freshly sharpened. Alright, now that I've sharpened the knife. Yes, I cut the pork! Awesome, Junpei. Now we can cut the paper. What the fuck is this? C10 plus F? Do you think it's some kind of code? Don't tell me it's this hexadecimal bullshit. Where F would be 15, C would be 13, I think. And 10 is A, which is 10. Oh, that part always kind of messes with me a bit. Alright. Damn it, they're just screwing around. Junpei, do you know what C and F stands for? Oh no, carrots and, Funyuns. You think maybe it means corporate finance? Well, I thought it was clever and funny. Oh no. Okay, let's head back here. This is the oven door. It's locked, of course. This is probably what you're supposed to use to enter the password. Maybe if we put the right number, it'll open the oven door. Jumpy, maybe the note you found earlier. Yeah, I know. Do you know how to enter them numbers? I think A is for enter and C is for clearing. So basically, when I'm ready to submit my answer, I press E. So if I screw up, I just push C, right? Lotus nodded. Alright, let's give it a shot. What? What is this? Madness? Oh, it's plus. Was it? So I plus 13 with 10, and then 15, so I get like 38 or something? Right? Is that what they want? Or maybe... Oh, why are you such a cruel bitch? Maybe it's that plus this, maybe it's 16. You know when 10's 16? That weird one that I really don't get. So 30, so 40, is it 43? There we go. Sounds like metal is falling. Well, I guess that went well. The metal's falling! Yeah! The door opened! Good job, Jumpy. Oh, it's so hard. Right, what's this? It is a key, a Saturn key card! This looks like a lowercase h, but the line next to it is throwing me off. This is the symbol for Saturn. Remember, there was an elevator next to the main staircase. Was there a mark like this on the card reader next to it? Oh yeah, I remember that. I guess that means that card ain't gonna help us out to get out of this room then. I'm not sure. Why don't we try it out? Yeah, it's worth a shot. Oh, well, what do you know? Yes, I think it's unlocked now. You did it, Jumpy. Let's get out of here. Yes. Yes! Oh, you found... They stepped out of the kitchen and into a hallway that looked rather familiar. A metal grate stretched from wall to wall. Beyond it were two elevators and the entrance to the kitchen. They had entered the kitchen from one door and come out the other. That meant their map of the ship's interior was accurate. They laid the map out in front of them and began to discuss their next step. So this is where we are, facing this way. There were 4 possible routes. A, B, C, and D. Well, A and B would take us to the same area. Oh, this looks like... This kind of looks like the casino area. This was the area with... This looks like this was where the, Oh, wait, no, wait. That's... No. It's starting to look less like the casino area now, my bad. First, A and B. A and B both seem to connect to an L-shaped room. However, the 2 doors that led to the room were both locked and could not be opened. Next was Route C. This goes all the way to the main staircase. That means it's door 5, one of the numbered doors. Then do you think we could meet up with the other 4 after this hallway? No, I don't think we will. Why not? Look. There, by the stairs. See how the gate is open? When we went into the kitchen, it was closed. But it's open now. What do you think that means? They opened it. Most likely. If we take Route C, we're going backwards. That'd be pointless. And that means all 4 looked at the map. They all looked at the staircase, this lazy curve leading down deeper into the ship. Route D then. Do Here it is. Yep, Route D. Then we're set. They jogged down the stairs until they reached the sea deck. Just to be sure, they kept going to check the deck beneath. Yeah, just like I thought. Deck D is totally underwater. Just like the bottom of the central staircase. The water gazed back at them, its smooth surface like a great mirror. Oh yeah! As ominous as it was, Junpei took at least some comfort from the fact that the level hadn't gone up much since the last time he'd seen it. They turned back to sea deck. It didn't take them long to find two elevators in front of the stairs. They looked identical to the elevators on the top floor, with one exception. The elevators had a card reader on the wall between them. I don't like this place. On the card reader was a strange mark. Hey look, it's Lotus's symbol. Huh? See, it's the woman symbol with a fawn on it. That seems like... Ah! Ah! Lotus had taken hold of Junpei's hair. She began to shake it violently, and he thought he heard a low growl coming from her throat. Such violence! Junpei began to wonder if she was not the devil itself. She was the Antichrist. With an uncomfortable smile, June spoke up. This is a Mercury symbol. The fawn symbolizes the wings of Hermes' staff. Hermes? Herpes? Whatever. If we can't... You know what? I've always made that connection myself as well. Oh god. Oh god. If we can't get this thing to work, these elevators aren't going anywhere. In other words, we need a key card with the Mercury symbol on it. Probably. They gave up on the elevator and returned to the stairs. A hallway stretched out to the left. A great many doors lined both sides of the hallway. They weren't sure how many, but certainly enough to be discouraging. Damn it, if we try and search all of these, the sun's gonna go down before we're done. We're done with even half of them. I think the sun already set. I have a feeling the ship is the only thing that's going to be going down at any time soon. That's even worse. But we can come back to this hallway later. Let's check the hallway on the other side, shall we? Frustration and fear building, they walked back to the stairs. To their right was a small hallway. Quickly they headed into it. It was approximately the same size as the alcove in front of the stairs. The hallway led toward the stern, and at the end was a set of double doors. Let's open it. Junpei nodded and grabbed the one closest to him. He gave it a small tug and felt it move. It was unlocked. Thrilled to have found an unlocked door, he threw it open. Junpei didn't know what to make of what he saw. Oh god, this place again. He simply stood, unable to speak. The other simply stared open-mouthed. After a few long moments, Santa managed to speak. The hell is this? A massive room stretched out in front of them. More a cavern than a room. Its vastness was oppressive, and it bore down on the four companions. It was not empty, however. The entire room was filled with lines upon lines of beds. They were simple things, little more than pipe and thin mattresses. Is this a hospital? He had at least been able to put a name to the harsh scent that pervaded the room. The room swam with the harsh, biting smell of antiseptic. In the center of the room were shelves stacked with medicine and a number of medical devices, the function of which Junpei did not know. More importantly, however, on the back wall of the room were 4 doors. 3 of them were emblazoned with large single-digit numbers made with thick red paint. The door on the left was labeled 3. The second door from the left had no number, but the third had been given a 7. And the rightmost door had an 8. There could be no doubt they were numbered doors. It did strike Junpei as strange, however, that the door between 3 and 7 should be blank. What, he wondered, could it mean? Let's take a look at the doors. Yeah, it sounds like a good plan. Junpei headed toward the doors, weaving his way through the beds. He started with door 3, on the left, and moved to the right until he reached door 8. Yeah, it's no use. But of course, if it was that easy to open these doors, what would be the point of the nonary game? We have to activate the red, or the number doors won't... Wait a minute. What's wrong? Look, the display of the red. There's nothing on it. Huh? Don't you remember the red at the central staircase? If no one was inside, it said vacant. Oh yeah, you're right. But this one? There's nothing on it. Right? I wonder if it's broken. Only one way to find out. I wonder if Snake's gonna go missing again. It didn't respond. All four took turns placing their hands over the red, but it refused to open. They pulled at the lever and still it did nothing. As they soon discovered, it wasn't the only red for the door 8 that was behaving strangely. The red of door 7 also refused to respond, and door 3 was similarly silent. None of them would respond. What did it mean? Ha! I knew it. They're broken. Zero sure sucks at maintenance. No, that's impossible. You really think Zero, who prepared all of this, would make such a stupid, simple mistake? Maybe, but that doesn't explain why this thing ain't working. It was at that moment that they heard a voice from behind them. I believe the bottom of the device has been removed. They spun around to see Snake. But it was more than just Snake. Ace, Clover, and Seven quickly filed into the room as well. Although they were glad to see one another, it wasn't terribly surprising that they had. If it had been the other party who'd opened the gate in front of the kitchen, it wasn't unreasonable that they'd bump into one another eventually. The rest of Snake's team, however, did look rather surprised. How did you guys... How did you end up here? After a moment of silence and surprise, everyone suddenly began to talk, desperate to exchange information. They talked about the rooms they'd been through, and how they'd ended up in the same place. Of course, none of it was very useful information, but that hardly mattered. They were happy to simply see one another again. Right now, you might be thinking, can we forward? It's not letting me right now, so I'm guessing there's still unique shit. Although the level of cheer varied greatly from person to person, each one of them was wearing some manner of smile. Almost as though they had already forgotten about the death of the ninth man. No, thought Junpei, perhaps that wasn't it. Perhaps thoughts of his death were what drove them to smile at one another. Not in a morbid or hateful way, no. The ninth man had died. But they were still alive, and that was something to be happy about. A sort of simple, uncomplicated joy, Junpei thought. The thought of being alive. Still alive. He felt sorry for the ninth man, but more than anything, Junpei was just happy to be alive. There you have it, our half of the story. His part finished. Ace fell silent. For a moment, Junpei was silent in thought, then he spoke. Okay, let me see if I got all this straight. When you guys got here, the bases for the Reds were already gone. and you looked over this room, but you couldn't find anything. So you figured that there might be something in the hallway with all the doors. So you went and had a look? Yeah. And while you were looking around, you heard voices. Uh-huh. So you followed the voices and came back here. Indeed. And that is how we found you. Junpei examined the 3 reds again, just in case. On the bottom of each was a long, thin gap. It looked like a slot for something. Probably something electronic. Oh, this isn't good. If the red is inactive, we can't keep going. Well, what about the hallway over there? Is there anywhere else we can go? No, there isn't. There are plenty more hospital rooms, but nothing else. Hospital rooms? That's what's behind all those doors? Yeah. There are a number of individual rooms in addition to this large one. There was a door at the end of the hallway, but it was locked. There was an astrological symbol engraved near the keyhole, however. I was able to get a good feel of it. Up high, Junpei! I believe it was the symbol of Jupiter. Not again. Those goddamn things are everywhere. I wonder what they all mean. For a moment, everyone was silent, deep in thought. While we're asking what these things mean, what's the deal with this room? I mean, I thought this was a cruise ship, but I can't imagine a cruise ship would have a hospital like this. Of all people, it was 7 who answered, and with calm confidence. Well, I figure it's probably a hospital ship. Chances are it's the Gigantic. The Gigantic? Junpei looked confused. So did everybody else. What is the Gigantic? I should be able to skip this now, right? Because I think I'm like... We've seen all this. What? What is the Gigantic? No. Oh, that's handy. That's fucking handy. Oh, alright, I can dig. Hey. Okay, I want to get off there now. Let me go. Let me go. I want to go home. I want to go home. Oh, shit. 7 knit his brows for a moment, then began to explain. Gigantic? He explained that she had been a sister ship for the Titanic, built in the early 20th century. The Titanic had 2 sister ships, who were identical to one another in nearly every aspect. The Gigantic was said to be one of them. She was initially intended to be a passenger line, like the Titanic, but soon after the ship was launched and the First World War began, and she was pressed into duty by the British Navy as a hospital ship. Sometime later, the Gigantic was damaged by a German mine in the Aegean Sea. Still can't say that. She managed to run aground after the incident, and consequently was not sunk. What then happened to the Gigantic after a fateful encounter in the Blah Sea? One theory ran that a man named Lord Gordane purchased her. Lord Gordane, it seemed, had been one of the few survivors of the Titanic tragedy, and that trauma had turned him into an obsessive collector of all things related to the Titanic. As his obsession deepened, he began to desire the Titanic itself. Now, I don't think I'd be obsessed with something that reminded me of my near-death experience, you know? So, there's something there. That, of course, was impossible. The Titanic lay at the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean. The Gigantic, however, not suffered such a dire fate, and as she was identical to her sister ship, she caught Lord Gordane's eye. So you're saying this Lord Gordane brought this ship? Yeah. At least, I think I am. That's impossible. No way we're in some boat that's almost 100 years old. Pipe down, just pay attention. What? That's it? Well, have you got any proof? Proof? Proof that this ship is really the Gigantic. Well, the ship's got stuff that's like the Titanic and a hospital ship. So I just figured, oh for goodness. Don't tell me that's your only reason. No, I've got more. Like? Well, I mean, Seven looked around desperately, doing anything to avoid meeting Lotus's piercing stare. He scratched his head for a moment, then gave up. Ooh. Finally, he opened his mouth. I don't know. Lotus sighed and shook her head. I guess your memory isn't back yet. Yeah, sorry about that. Hey, wait a minute. Memory isn't back? Junpei was, he felt, legitimately shocked at what seemed to be new and very important information. Everyone else, however, seemed unimpressed. In fact, they all looked at Junpei as though he had said something very strange. He decided to revise his attitude for the next question. Wait, was I the only one that didn't know? Everyone nodded. Why? Oh yeah, I guess I didn't tell you, huh? I told the rest of them before we ran into you on the stairs. I told them I couldn't remember a damn thing from before I woke up. What? Then, almost as if to save Junpei from further embarrassment, a bell began to ring from far away. It sounded as though it was the clock at the main stairway. Junpei counted each chime carefully. 10, 11, 12. We already only have 6 hours, man. It's midnight. And we still got 6 hours left, right? We don't have any time to screw around. Let's get going. We gotta find the missing parts of the Reds. What do you mean, find? How on earth do you propose we do that? We've looked everywhere in this room. That only leaves one place to look. One? Well, I guess that's not really right. Wait. Don't tell me you mean we need to search all of the other rooms. Don't freak out. We already searched 4 of them. 4? We just have to split the rest between the 8 of us. If each person does 6 rooms, that'll be 48 rooms, right? So there are 48 rooms left? Her earlier experiences had apparently not encouraged Lotus to trust Seven. Seven scratched his head awkwardly. I don't know. After a little more discussion, they split up and headed towards the rooms to begin searching them. Junpei was chosen to search the rooms on the starboard side, moving from forward to aft. They also determined when they would return to report their findings, the next time the clock sounded the chime. When it did, they would meet back in the large central room full of beds. If during their search any of them were to locate the missing components, they were to yell for the others. If this strategy failed, they returned to discuss their options later. The details decided, they left to begin searching. I'll be right back, guys. I need to get me a drink real quick because my throat is dry as a motherfucker.